Hello and welcome to another video on Hurwitz farming, and I got PJ to join me at Hurwitz farming last week just to share his thoughts and get his thoughts on the Hurwitz farming Boron cattle and then some of the stud bulls that we saw as well. But we also walked through the offering for the summer sale, and we discussed a lot of these bulls. We did so in the wind, and the wind didn't work with us, and we did have to make a re-recording of it afterwards, and this is what he had to say. PJ, let's start at the 369, that grey bull on our far right, and yeah, that sort of bull, the moment we walked in here, he just catches your eye. He's got a presence about him. You can see that hormone balance, and yeah, it's just something that when I walked in here caught your eye. And I think he's a great example that we've discussed so far.
The grey bull is really well balanced. He's long-bodied relative to his height. This is a very good indication of hormonal balance. He's an easy-moving bull, extremely athletic, with great flexibility on his hind leg, and moves through his shoulder really well too. He's strong over his top, deep-sided and easy fleshing. Nicely muscled bull. There's nothing extreme about this bull. He's just really nicely well put together and balanced. Good neck and head and hump on him. And I think a bull that's going to be good to work on heifers and cows, just because of how smooth he is through his shoulder, how long bodied he is, and how practically made he is through his foot and bone structure.
PJ, we move on to 371. Black Star, well known by now for most of the guys that have watched the videos. A bull that just carries himself very well, and if you look at the muscling, it's something that you notice immediately. You can just see that eye muscle coming out of the hump into his back, and yeah, you can see the muscling through his on his shoulders, and yeah, really something special, but nothing extreme. You see, I talk about muscling. But I'm not going that it's an extreme hard muscled bull, but it's a well muscled bull that carries a lot of meat.
The 371 bull for me is just a bus. He is so full bodied, he's so deep sided, he's big ribbed, exceptionally well muscled over his top hip and rump. He's a masculine, massive bull. He's got some chest floor and base width to him. Also a sound, athletic bull. Nice and tidy in his underline, really good testicle size, shape and suspension, and one of those high volume bulls with good rumen function that's going to make daughters that can forage and be managed under extensive grass conditions, requiring minimal input but still giving you some added performance.
PJ, I want to jump to something a little different, the Bond one. And yeah, Mamba caught our eye. He was walking up the road, and just a bull that just moves so well. He sails almost along, and you can just see all over. This is the sort of bull that will have that longevity, that does have all the qualities that we spoke about earlier, being the middle of the road. He's just got muscling. He's got the pigment. He's got the bones and the length, but nothing to the extreme, and just something special that you're looking at.
Yes, Tennis, I agree with you. This Mamba bull is an absolute athlete. We saw him gliding up the road, just really flexible on his feet and legs, soft in his joints, cushioned in his pasterns, but he's a big bodied bull too. There's a lot of rib shape. He's really got that center body dimension we're looking at, that easy fleshing ability. And then really nicely muscled over his top and hip and rump, really full in his twist or inner thigh. And he's a masculine bull. He's really got a good head and neck on him to go with that mass and density. I think balance is the term to use with this bull. Just all the body parts fit together appropriately. There's nothing excessive, but he optimizes all these traits so well into a package that can really work in any environment.
PJ, we jump to our next bull, and what a bull it is, but something that the more you look at this bull, the more you like him, and the more you realize the quality that you're looking at. And I know as we went on, he sort of made a real impression on you. Yeah, just give me your thoughts and what makes this bull really special.
Tennis, as you know, this Malibu bull is a favorite of mine. I just love his moderate frame, his massive body, that exceptional muscle shape and tone that he's got. I really like his masculinity, the quality in his head and neck, that excellent hump he's got. But then this bull can move. He gets that big body and heavy carcass around so well on optimum feet and legs. Good bone density and shape to him. Tremendous testicle size and shape, and he's just got that herd bull character and that stud sire quality about him. I think this is a bull that can be worked in a lot of herds where the females maybe are tending to get a little bit refined, maybe a little bit tall, a little later maturing. He'll fix maturity pattern and he'll certainly correct body type.
PJ, looking at the BH25641 Bonox, you just see length. You see length straight through. You see it in his head. You see it in the rest of his body, and then you look at the hip bone, and you see where it ends in the sit bones. Then you just know this thing carries a lot of meat, and he's just got the external length, but he doesn't lose that balance. He's still deep. He's still well muscled, and you can just see the muscling coming there from the head into the hump, and yeah, really something to look forward to for these guys.
The blood red 25641 bull, I just love this bull's skeleton. In his upper skeleton, he's relaxed in his spine, but he's really strong over his top. Considering how long bodied he is, he holds it together exceptionally well. A bull that moves well too on those ideal feet and legs. He's a little more refined in terms of his bone, but he's still adequate there. A bull that is square at the ground, he's wide and strong over his top. Another masculine, massive bull with more than enough muscle shape and tone to him. And again, he's got that extra rib shape, rumen capacity, internal dimension that we're looking for, with exceptional testicle size, shape and suspension.
PJ, our next bull, BH20158, is something that just stands out in terms of that manliness. You see that hormones from the neck. You see the darkening. You see it in his face, the character in his face, and yeah, something that just pulls through right through his body, and you can see it in his scrotum as well. And it's just, something that you've been talking about all day. And the one thing that does stand out to me, how strong he is over back and over the loins. And yeah, something that I do like. You know, you can't put meat onto a weak frame. And yeah, this is a sort of a frame that you want. Nothing oversized, but yeah, strong, and something that just works well.
Tinus, I love the way you describe this 2158 bull. He has incredible masculinity. He's got punch and grunt. A bull that's got that bit of coarseness and ruggedness that we expect from a herd bull at this age, and that exceptional muscle shape and tone. He's rippling with muscle over his top, hip and rump. A bull that's still deep and soft in his center body, so he's still got that fleshing ability and rumen function, and then that extra strength he's got in his bone and his foot, and beautifully proportioned. And you mentioned his color pattern and pigmentation, showing us good testosterone flow, and that's showing up in his head and neck. But then, as you said, great testicle size and shape and suspension for a true herd bull.
PJ, thank you so much for joining us today. But before we let you go, if you just go back and see the whole day that you spent here, you've seen the tough situations these animals have to run in, the country, the lack of food, there's almost no grass, and we don't even recognize some of the main stud bulls that we walked through earlier. But if you look at the quality offering of the Hurwitz farming team and overall, what is your feeling about the Boran, firstly in the beef industry, and then what you saw today and what you really liked about the Hurwitz Boran herd?
Tinus, to start my answer with the last part of your question, the Boron's a breed that I really fell in love with when I saw it in Kenya the first time I went over there and saw these large herds on the equator at altitude, and then seeing how adapted they were to different environments. And the thing I probably enjoy the most about these cattle is just how practically sound they are. They're functionally efficient. The fundamentals are right. The feet, the legs, the udders, the testicles. These cattle have all got athleticism and longevity built into them. They're naturally fertile. These are all things that all breeds should be aspiring to, and the Boron has got it built in and baked into their recipe. So it was just a pleasure coming out to Hurwitz farming and seeing large numbers of these cattle running under trying conditions. That's tough country. It's a trying winter. It's not the easiest conditions. It's not the strongest grass or the highest protein grass around, but because of that body type, maturity pattern, ease of fleshing, it allows them to flourish in those conditions. And I know from my background too, the cattle that have a natural cycle thrown at them, where they have a harsh winter and then hopefully some spring rain and a more optimum summer, they tend to adapt well to that, and they reward you with some fertility and some performance, because their natural cycle through their body seems to enjoy being part of that symbiotic change of season. So the fact that these cattle aren't pampered, that they're allowed to blend into the environment, be part of nature, is why they reward the producers in this way with some extra performance without major inputs put into them. What I do like is when these cattle are prepared for sale. So when these cattle are given a little bit of extra before sale time, just to show what their potential is, then they respond very quickly. There's compensatory growth and compensatory fleshing ability that these cattle have in them. So as far as the breed is concerned, when you use this breed and you create an F1 female with them, they create an incredible F1 female when crossed with some maybe more traditional Southern African breeds that are on the maternal side. You take that and you cross it with a more terminal type bull, or cross a Boron with a more terminal type bull. That cross actually makes an ideal feedlot animal, and Clay Center in Kansas in the US did extensive research on this, and anyone who feeds out their own Boron cross cattle can see how they respond, and it's because there is extra muscle in these cattle, but they're also easy fleshing. So you get a good response in terms of fattening ability, but they reward you with some true muscle shape as well. Thank you for an incredible time. I really enjoyed the day, and I was just blown away by the quality and numbers that we saw in those big herds on pasture. It's not just 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. They come at you 100 or 200 at a time, and the uniformity and the quality of type was outstanding. Thank you.